welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We are back on our Genshin journeys today, and today we got a new character. So y'all know I gotta play my new character, Diluc. I know Paimon is extremely happy about that. Oh snap, shout out to Beast2415. Welcome to the squad, friend. Fixing my little tags here. Oh, I wonder how many tags I can put. So I got update? Nope, you can only use 5. Okay. I thought there was so much more. Alright, I'm just gonna save it to those. Let's go. Alright, first things first. Let's check out our new character. Diluc. Okay. The heck? Okay. Apparently he's got a little birdie friend. So I want to look at constellation and talents first to see how we should build him up. What kind of areas we need to focus on for his or like stats we need to focus on for his build. So let's get my little piper. Alright, so it looks like he has some kind of attack where he drains stamina over time to perform continuous slashes. So we do want to focus on keeping that stamina up, or increasing his stamina. Plunging attack looks like it does AoE damage. Next thing we want to look at is this right here. He performs a slash with pyro damage. So anything increasing our pyro damage we'll definitely want to equip on him. Let's see what else here. Still focusing pyro damage, AoE pyro. Diluc charge attack stamina cost is decreased by 50%. So we're gonna definitely need restlessness at some point. The pyro infusion provided by dawn lasts for 4 seconds. Diluc gains pyro damage during duration, and refunds are 50% of the ore used when crafting claymore type weapons. So we'll definitely be using Diluc to craft items as well. Ooh, excuse me. Next we're gonna look at constellation. Diluc deals more damage to opponents whose HP is above 50%. So I think when we're fighting, we definitely want to utilize Diluc first before our other characters. When Diluc takes damage, his attack increases by 10%. So I think we want to make sure that Diluc's defenses or defense stats are up, because it says here that when he takes damage his attack increases by 10% and his attack speed increases as well. So that'll be beneficial if he can take the hit. It says increase of searing onslaught by 3, maximum upgrade level is 15, casting 2 times searing onslaught. Casting searing onslaught deals 40% additional damage. That's that damage again that we want to focus. And what else? Attack speed, maybe will have their damage and attack speed increase. So maybe attack speed as well, if that's even a stat that we can increase from our items. So next, after we do that, we're gonna of course go over to our artifacts and figure out which will be the best artifacts for Diluc. So here, this instructor is going to increase elemental mastery. Traveling doctor is going to increase healing ability, and we kind of want to focus on something that's going to increase damage. So I'm going to scroll over to see if we can find something else. So this right here, berserker, is going to increase crit rate, and then if it's a 4-piece set, when HP is below 70, crit rate increases by an additional 24%. We also have this traveling doctor again. Let's see, the exile, energy recharge, and using the elemental burst regenerates 2 energy. This right here is lucky dog, defense increased by 100. So we might be looking at lucky dog, and then maybe berserker, a 2-piece berserker. Let's see what we got here. Scholar, energy recharge, and then with a 4-piece set, it's talking about elemental particles and orbs. So yeah, we might be doing lucky dog, because I feel like that might be more beneficial for Diluc at this time, and berserker. So I'm gonna go ahead and equip those items. Oh, and this Tiara Frost, so I might go ahead and equip that as well, because it says that with this 1-piece set, affected by Pyro for 40% less time, and because my character is a Pyro character, a Pyro character will be able to inflict more damage. So that might be beneficial, because it'll also add 10 to the defense. So I'm going to go ahead and equip that for him. And then I'm going to equip, what do we say, traveling, oh no, we didn't. We said lucky dog, and we said what is it, berserker for the crit rate. This might be the place where we get into a little bit of issues, because we don't have the, all the things in this stuff. 5.2, 5.2. What do we hit? We hit lucky dog. So now I need a berserker item. Alright, now that we've done that, the next thing I'm gonna do is level our character up, and also let's see, if I saw any other artifacts that were similar, I would power up the artifact that Diluc has. So for example, these right here, these lucky dog hourglasses, I could use that to increase the level of the artifact that Diluc has. And same thing here. Or I could use these minor ones too, and I'll show you guys by enhancing this. And we'll just pick some of these items down here. Some of these gray items, because we don't really need any of those. Normally I do try to stick with the same ones, but as you can see, boom, we'll level it up and it increases the amount of damage per Cairo. So that's just one way to do it for artifacts. Next, weapons. So he's got a pretty decent weapon, but it's very, very low. So I'm gonna pick a better sword. So this right here focuses attack and energy recharge. This item right here focuses attack and physical damage bonus, which might benefit our character a little bit more. See, this attack is 99 and this attack is 94, so pretty decent. See, we got Favonius Shadow, White Iron Great Sword. I'm gonna go ahead and equip this Skyrider Great Sword for our character, and then I'm going to enhance it with those baby swords. Oh my bad, hold on. Oh snap, we got another Skyrider. Yeah, let's go ahead and get that up a level. Boom. Now we got a rank 3. So yeah. So now we're done with artifacts, we're done with weapons. Let's see, we can also level up our character as well. Got a couple of tunes for that. Oop. Got him to 19. And then use that one to get him up to 20. Looks like we had a few new voice lines because he's a new character. Just want to clear all those out. Next, I'm going to set up my party so that he's a part. And because he is like a pyro character, I'm just going to switch out Yanfei for Diluc.
Let's go.
And we were on our story, so I'm going to continue that story quest.
What's the point?
This looks like Teijima's diary, all right. Let's see what we have here.
Yep, let's be nosy.
The villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. I messed up and burned mine a little, so I had to pretend that it was black snakehead instead. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo was still in the water. I searched the water the whole afternoon before finding out that Bamboo was the name of his pet crab. I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. I soon realized I was never going to get it back, so I just found somewhere to sit and watch as it flew away into the distance. Seems like your average diary of daily village life. Huh? Wait, there's more! I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The Omamori you gave me has faded a little, but it is still my most treasured possession. Now that's the kind of info we're looking for. Time to pay a visit to the shrine.
To the shrine we go.
what about?
Oh, you just love it there.
Interesting. Looking at the color and the design, Paimon would have thought it belonged to a child. But anyway, if he had this with him all the time, there's a chance some of his elemental energy remained on it. Do you think that it might come in handy?
We're just stealing stuff on the shrine. Oh, it says look for the what? Look for the objective in the area. Okay. We are like all in their business right now, but okay, let's keep going. If we become separated during war, go wait for me in Konda village. There'll be a safe house for us there. Aww.
So the reason Tejima came here was to wait for someone. But he's been here for 30 years. Oh, guess they didn't show up in the end, huh?
That's it.
Well, let's go give Tejima his stuff back and take it from there.
Certainly my handwriting. And I guess the Omamorian letter belonged to me too. But I have no memory of anything that's written in this diary. Still, it's clear that I was waiting for someone here, and that I chose to wait for 30 years. Over the years, I must have made a note of anything interesting. Anything that I could share with her when we were finally reunited. And just look at all the things that did happen over the years. The time has flown by so quickly. 30 years feels like the blink of an eye. How could I have forgotten something so important to me? Now that I think about it, when my vision was taken from me, it felt like I'd suddenly been hollowed out.
Aww.
Love, regret, everything I felt for her, it's all disappeared.
Aww. Welcome to the squad, Black Mask Ninja. Welcome, friend.
Especially. After all, I've forgotten who she was. Her face, her voice, the things we experienced together. I barely recall any of it. It's as if she'd never been in my life to begin with. As if all these years have been nothing but a hazy dream. maybe not. If this is something I waited most of my life for, I suppose I should carry on waiting. Although, what if she were to turn up eventually, only to find I didn't remember so much as her name?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be upsetting for her?
She kind of flip out on you.
When
I'm
I
just
think
saying.
about it like that, I do feel a slight tinge of sadness in my heart. How curious. Why am I thinking like this when I don't even remember who she is? It's just like that feeling of emptiness. The feeling that something is missing. Thank you both for helping me reconnect with my reason for staying here. I shall remain here and keep waiting for her.
Aww.
Tejima seems to be feeling okay, but still makes Paimon really sad.
Yeah, I don't think she's coming back, friends.
Seems it's just like Ayaka and Tomo were saying. If you lose your vision, you lose all your hopes and dreams too. That certainly explains the state Tejima was in earlier. At least we were able to help him, weren't we?
Aww.
Well, let's go find the next person. According to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the Tenryou Commission.
Nah, I'm pretty sure Diluc is not going to be able to really handle too many people out here to fight. But, you know, we could test him out just to see. Like, with these hilly trolls, you should be able to take out... okay. Maybe not. Ah. Oh, snap. Oop. Okay. Yeah.
Rise.
Is Brad doing a whole flip? Whoa.
Disappear.
Leave it all to me. As a dutiful maid woman. I missed a spot. Steady as stone.
I mean, Diluc held his own, you know. He did what he could do.
Is this an answer from this world?
The enemies on this side are a little bit stronger than Diluc, but he did do a lot of damage, so I'm gonna give him his props for his first battle on the squad. Let's see, where are we headed again? Oh, that's gorgeous. Like that picture.
They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and order in Inazuma. The ones actually enforcing the Vision Hunt decree. But why would they take action against one of their own? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to withhold this month's emergency provisions?
The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation.
Oh.
How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. Do you understand? Not some goods to be pocketed by greedy samurai.
You samurai think you
Welcome
can
to the
just do
stream,
whatever you
friends.
please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this.
Uh-oh.
And who are you? One of Kurosawa's gang, no doubt.
What? We just happened to be passing by.
I'm saying.
We heard the commotion and came to see what the matter was.
They're already trying to put us in a box. We just got here. Relax.
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. Perhaps you can help us settle this matter.
What?
This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and he's the one responsible for distribution. In the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself, I just know it. We'll starve without them.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man, but he's shown his true colors. He's the same as all the other samurai. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need people like him helping her rule the nation.
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. But why would she ever want us to help someone like him? Maybe we should talk to Kurosawa and see what he has to say.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me.
Aw.
But either way, it's ridiculous. If I was hoarding supplies, would I still be the poor man I am today? My own family can barely get by as it is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got other matters to attend to.
That's jacked up.
That's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision. And they said I was slacking off in my work. Apparently, I'd even disappointed the Raiden Shogun. And that's why they confiscated my vision.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the Vision Hunt decree. Why would you be unworthy of your vision?
To be perfectly honest, I don't seem to remember the details. All I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just that. I have this unsettling feeling, like someone owes me something.
Does it have to do with the missing emergency provisions?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was taking them for myself, I wouldn't be going through such hard times right now. To top it all off, my house was just raided by treasure hoarders, which is why I came here in the first place. I was chasing after them when I got held up by these two.
Wow. Going through a lot. Going through a lot. I honestly wonder what his vision is. His vision is probably something against the Raiden, right? Because they would not have taken his vision had it not been something against the Vision Hunters. So we're gonna see.
If you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself. any emergency provisions to be had, they would have found them.
He seems to be telling the truth.
Yep.
We better confirm. Let's go round up those treasure hoarders and see what they have to say.
Here Paimon go, volunteering us for some random mission when we have, you know, other stuff to do, but whatever.
We should be able to follow their tracks. They couldn't have gone too far.
Let's go fight these treasure hoarders then, I guess. Oh, they right here at the beach. Let's go.
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jackpot. I mean, besides that one house.
You haven't seen anything yet. There'll be a lot more where this came from. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an epic journey of pillage and plunder that will go down in hoarder history.
Wow.
You demand, boss.
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after. Let's teach them a lesson.
Here we go again. Down that same old road again, cause Paimon drove down this and... Ooh. 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 I kinda like that ultimate. That's gonna do some major damage. He's actually doing quite a bit of damage for these treasure hoarders. Treasure hoarders were level 45. My level 20 Diluc. I'm gonna try and hit all of them with the ultimate. Ooh, that ultimate is crazy. I can see that definitely working with the wind, being like a double whammy. But we'll try and test it out when we're not fighting near the water. Ooh, health is about to...
Faster.
Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders?
Never.
Could use someone like you. Kurosawa. Oh, I remember. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck. I knew we shouldn't have hit that place.
So what did you see inside? Was it stuffed with food supplies?
Food supplies? You kidding? That place was a complete mess. All we found was a strange-looking box, hopefully with valuables inside. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening it myself once we got back. But now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little box for our freedom. What do you say?
You've got a deal. Now show us what's in the box.
What? Paimon?
Huh?
What the?
there's nothing in here but IOUs.
Yeah, a lot of them too. And they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store, a Miss Aoi. We're talking tons of Mora here. We better talk to this Miss Aoi and get to the bottom of this. As for you guys, you're free to go. Just pray that our paths don't cross again.
Wow.
Yes, of course. So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs. Does that mean we broke even?
Shut it. Let's just get out of here.
Let's see where these IOUs take us.
To Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find something? Or perhaps there's something you want to inquire about? Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it? Perhaps you're here to pay off his debts.
Whoa, whoa! Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're just here to learn where they all came from. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy anything super expensive here?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket recently, and his salary was no longer enough to cover the cost. So, he started writing out IOUs to cover whatever he couldn't afford of the usual amount.
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions.
He was paying for it out of his own money.
Why did he have to purchase a usual amount? If the prices increased, couldn't he just buy less?
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed to sustain them each time. Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than let the people down.
Wow. Kurosawa was purchasing all the emergency provisions at his own expense. And no one ever appreciated what he did.
They sure didn't.
They just complained and held him accountable.
Wow.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. In the face of hardship, nobody cares to think twice. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from the start, then there wouldn't be such a severe backlash now. Of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing was truly a thankless deed. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never tell anyone, I'm still not too clear myself. If you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself?
He don't even remember, but that's probably what was a part of his vision. But why would they take something like that away from him? him. I'm not understanding the gain of taking that memory away from him, so.
I see. That reminds me, it seems that his vision was recently confiscated. Most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so dear to him.
Sword? What sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a very valuable blade. He's carried it for years now. I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift from his father, that it was too precious to sell. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has its price, at least that's what I think. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Perhaps it'll even provide you with the answers you're looking for. Oh, but before you go, if you would kindly settle today's bill.
Today's bill.
But we didn't buy anything.
Information is also a kind of commodity, wouldn't you agree? Don't worry, I won't charge much for information about Kurosawa. Nothing we ever discussed was explicitly confidential anyway. Oh, let me think. 2,000 mora should be a fair price.
We should not pay you anything, but I don't have any other options but fair enough. So here we go.
At least we now know where the emergency provisions are coming from. Plus, we found out that Kurosawa has a priceless sword in his possession. Let's go talk to Kurosawa again and see if he can remember anything. What are you doing here all by yourself? Where did those other two go?
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. They left. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Perhaps I should start using it more often. And did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders? Everything I said was true, right?
I mean, yeah, no.
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you really were distributing emergency provisions, but they were all purchased at your own expense.
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all you've told me, I still don't remember anything. Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? I really don't understand. But I cannot deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, I could sense that my body was somehow reluctant to do so. This sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade and show it off to the kids next door. My father ended up catching me in the act and scolded me severely. What did he say? I can't seem to remember that either. It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So many memories gone. Forever. No matter how hard I try to remember, all I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed. Before he passed away, he placed the sword in my hands and said to me, "With this sword, you should."
words engraved on the hilt. Can you recognize the words?
Virtue and justice? Somehow those two words seem to explain everything now. Taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must have been my greatest ambition after all. But what use of virtue and justice? I purchased the provisions for those in need. And look how things ended up.
I mean, you never told them
The
so.
Tenryou Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was so desperately trying to help refused to understand me. And the irony of all of it is, I somehow still felt sorry when threatening them with my blade. I'm incapable of being a good person, yet I'm equally unable to be bad. I don't know what to do with myself.
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. The Yashiro Commission would surely help cover his expenses. In any case, we must never let him sell off that sword.
Whatever you say, Paimon.
Yeah, seems like losing all ambition is a terrible experience.
You know what? That might be true. Because, like, having a goal or something that you're working toward is very important. Even it doesn't even matter how small it is. Even if, like, say today you couldn't finish, like, an assignment or, like, a work goal or something like that. There's always tomorrow, and you'll always be able to work towards something. So not having any like ambition or desire to do something every day is a bit concerning. So always have something that you work toward, even if it's just waking up and making your bed. Something super simple could mean a whole lot in the long run. Make you more ambitious to do even more things later on in life.
Fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next poor soul.
No, it's poor. What? Look, Paimon. I don't know how many more poor souls I can talk to. Their stories are so sad. This guy was just trying to help out his people, and now they don't like him, and they don't even know. If I was him, though, I'd just tell him. Once I figure out that information, hey, this is what happened. I lost my vision. Da 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 da. Now, if they didn't understand after that, then hey, y'all out of luck.
The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts. Hyman heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Get out of here immediately!
Oh.
Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong! We just came here to...
Disciples?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty master of Meikyo Shisui art. It's the whole reason we came all this way, to seek him out and ask him to train us. But then we got here and overheard you talking about how he got possessed or something?
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around here.
Nope,
Please,
we're sure not.
accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently, and he's still recovering. He's not able to take on any new disciples for the time being. I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Okay, how about this? My fellow disciple Nanako and I will explain Sensei's situation to you in a little more detail. Then you can decide whether to stay or to leave. Sensei's name is Domo, a name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters, never losing a single fight. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. His fervor truly inspired us, and we trained hard, determined to keep up with him. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over, and he refuses to let us train. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's been possessed by an evil spirit. So, we've asked the shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine to perform an exorcism.
Wow.
But if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely recover.
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What's that?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. The head shrine maiden is reputed to have very close ties with the almighty Shogun herself. Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine would have clear power and authority to perform an exorcism. So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just fine. The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more than welcome to come and watch if you're interested.
So, losing your vision can cause possession? Guess we should come back this evening and see for ourselves.
So now we gotta come back between 8 and 12, 24. Is it 24? Okay, we went around way too many times, but we made it.
You should really bring the Knights of Favonius with you next time.
Shh. So you decided to come. It's a good thing you didn't arrive any earlier. You would have had to witness Sensei one of his fits of madness. Just now, when Nanako was attending to him, she heard him whispering a few names to himself. When she asked him who the people were, he suddenly looked panic-stricken and pushed her away. It looked like he was in great distress. He was covering his ears and looking frantically around him with bloodshot eyes. All the while he kept calling those names. Some of them were new, others we didn't recognize. But they all seemed to be the names of sword masters he had defeated in the past. One of them was Anzai. He used to be a fellow disciple of Sensei's. His senior, in fact. But Sensei defeated him in a duel many years ago. And he has been a wanderer ever since. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. Thankfully, the shrine maidens managed to subdue him. So the exorcism can finally continue. The ritual has now begun. All we can do is patiently await the result. Here's hoping Sensei will be back to his normal self very soon. Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water. If he wakes up, he is sure to be thirsty.
You thirsty and a bunch of other things.
Huh?
Okay.
Sneaking around. Uh-oh. Could they be here to mess up the exorcism? We won't let them get away with it. Come on, let's go after them. Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up? Is this definitely the right place? Aha! Suspicious person sighted! That's gotta be him!
How did you catch up with me?
I mean,
So
we
quickly.
just went up the stairs. You weren't going that fast for him.
Domon's disciples. You move even quicker than he does.
Mm.
Unless... I guess it's been a few years. Maybe his skills had improved again.
Excuse me? We're the ones asking the questions here. First off, who are you? And what are you doing sneaking around these parts? You seem like bad news, mister.
Bad news? I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day. Long before you ever showed up.
Ooh.
I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am Domon's senior.
The senior? Wait, that means you must be...
Anzai. Yes, that's me.
I thought you got defeated. How are you here? Questions.
Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again. When we were young, we trained under the same sword master, studying Make-Yoshi Sui art together. I had begun training 5 years before him, and everyone looked up to me as a steady and dependable older disciple. Practitioners of Make-Yoshi Sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. So the majority of disciples are indifferent to rank and reward. I was no exception. But Domon was different. First thing he did when he joined was go straight to our sensei and ask him, with a beaming smile on his face, how to become the best in the world. Sensei scolded him, told him that the art of the sword should not be used for such vain ends. Sensei said that coveting the title of the best sword master, barely days into his training, showed that he had a fickle mind, and that this would impede him from ever mastering the blade. I thought so too at the time, but Domon began making swift progress in his training, and even started catching up with me. Only then did I realize that it was Domon who had long since freed his mind from all agitation. He was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world. He sought nothing less than perfection in the art of the sword, and nothing could deter him from this goal, no matter what stood in his way.
Sure sounds like he meant business. So how come you don't want to ever see him again?
Because until he arrived, I was convinced that I would succeed our sensei as the master of Make-Yoshi Sui art. Of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. I had trained the longest. Everyone had high expectations for me. Domon's arrival changed everything. When we sparred, I lost not just the match, but my pride and my status too. I fled the dojo that day and never looked back. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then, and unfortunately that match used up every last ounce of energy in his body. After that I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down though, I still respected his mastery of the blade, and his commitment to the art of the sword.
So, when I heard rumors that he had lost his mind, my first reaction was to dismiss them as false. How could he, of all people, have lost his mind? His mind was the sharpest of them all. He had practiced Meikyo Shisui art to perfection. I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. Then, to my complete astonishment, I heard him call my name. I thought mine was a name he had long since forgotten. So you see, I came here not to cause him any harm. I just wanted to see for myself. Okay, you've heard my story. You should get back now. The exorcism is probably finishing.
Seems like we got it wrong this time. He wasn't here to mess up the exorcism at all. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him back with us. Let's go see how the exorcism's coming along.
Yeah, let's go see how this exorcism is going, cause I wonder if we'll actually get some shots of this exorcism, or if it'll work.
What? You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean that he's just lost his mind? But how is that possible? No, I refuse to believe it. Something's clearly wrong.
Nanako, please. Try not to get agitated.
I'm sorry. With what powers I have, I can find no sign of any malignant spirit having possessed Domon. But spirits may take a myriad of forms in this world, many of which I cannot claim to have witnessed myself. Thus, I dare not rule out possession with complete certainty. And all is certainly not lost, for I received word not long ago that Lady Yae has taken an interest in your sensei's case.
Lady Yae? Is that the same Lady Yae that I think you mean?
The head shrine maiden of the Grand Narukami Shrine? That's wonderful news! Then Sensei will be sure to recover.
Correct. Lady Yae is most knowledgeable indeed, and has abundant experience in the exorcism of evil spirits and aversion of great calamities. I am unable to say for certain whether an evil spirit has possessed your sensei, but Lady Yae can give a conclusive verdict.
Excuse me, Miss Inagi, but I must ask, should we prepare a greeting gift for Lady Yae?
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukami Shrine. Lady Yae does not like to be kept waiting. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine. I wish Domon a full and speedy recovery.
Who'd have thought Lady Yae herself would have taken notice of our sensei's case?
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to deserve Lady Yae's attention?
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstand me. I just mean this is Lady Yae, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself. Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we, the disciples of Meikyo Shisui art, will do our best to help you.
Okay.
Sure. After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady Yae. We're curious to meet her too. Who
See if she
knows?
can.
Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two about the Raiden children from her.
True. At the same time, we haven't figured out any information about the vision that the sensei had, so, or why he would be concerned about his senior. All very interesting things. Oh, we can cook on this little pile. Snap. Well, we going over there? Oh, right here. Nope, we're going like way over there. I like how the music changes when we get into the fights. Whoa. Whoa. Ooh. Ouchie.
With the wind!
I must leave no stone.
Jeez. Alright. Bro, a little strong. We're gonna have to really get.
Someone needs assistance. Wheel of life. Orders given. Orders received.
Oh. Oh no.
Disappear!
Steady as stone. They still need me.
Oh man. We're getting kind of lit up here.
Nice.
Let's bring back our characters. The first time we've ever encountered a hilly well, that size of a hilly troll with all that electro power. Trying not to cook, trying to get the skier. Some pretty decent rewards though from taking out that group, so should be able to get some more power to Diluc. What is this?
This will do.
like we made it to some kind of shrine of some sort. Oh. Electro Oculus. Now that's new. How are we supposed to get up there? Guess we gotta keep climbing this mountain or something. What? We're just gonna keep it moving. Because they're not gonna climb back, so no point. A longer stretch. Ooh, we are very high up. Gotta be an easier way to get here.
You think that's Lady Yai? Oh, no wonder Junyo is so excited. She has a really striking presence. Also, is it just Paimon? Or did she look right at just now. It was probably nothing. It's not like she's ever seen us before.
Keep away. Keep away from me. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yai, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears to see those who have lost to him in duels past, gathered all around him to persecute him.
Lady Yai, it must be a possession, right? This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter what came his way, he would always face it with a confident smile.
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit.
Oh.
But then does that mean he...
Yes. This is a change in the person himself. Unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he was under, he suffered a spiritual collapse. With his wits impaired, he finally descended into madness.
Wow.
As one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament, it does nothing to prevent his descent into the depths. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yai, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change? How does that explain his descent into madness?
Your school practices Neikyo Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve it. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough that he crossed blades with a disciple he himself had taught. Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both? Can one truly remain unagitated, of still mind in moments such as these?
Lady Yai, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the swordmaster is filled with twists and turns. It is no small undertaking to pursue the position of greatest swordmaster in the world. It requires one to take their sword firmly in both hands and cut down the hopes and dreams of others, even those of one's closest companions. Only a deep commitment to his ambition to become the best made it possible for him to rise above the pain of these encounters, to focus on the way ahead. When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, he slowly descended into the state you see him in now. Much like a certain fatally flawed friend of mine.
Poor Sensei. To think he's been suffering so greatly.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Father, Sensei, Onsai.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Onsai? Where did he come from? Did he follow us the whole way here?
He probably did. I mean...
Onsai, why are there two of you? Is that you or a ghost? You're here for revenge, aren't you? I knew it would come. I never should have.
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. But I didn't come here to settle a score. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I couldn't face the humiliation. That's why I ran. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. On the contrary, when you cut our ambitions short, we entrusted them to you, in the hopes that they might carry you further.
Wow.
Now I know that we can't place our hopes in you any longer, since you've been stripped of your ambitions too. But that is no reason to strip them of theirs. Follow the way of the sword all the way to the highest peak. You taught them that, didn't you?
But what if one day, the same thing happens to them? put everything I had into trying to become the best. But what if it was all a huge mistake right from the start? If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they stay where they are now than go any further down this path.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirates, I told myself I would follow in your footsteps for the rest of my days. I can't know whether I will suffer in my future as you do now. All I know is that here and now, in the present, I wish to continue. I want to keep going until the day that I can stand before everyone with my head held high and announce that I, like my sensei Domo before me, am a master of Meikyo Shisui art.
Naruko's far from the only one. Actually, all of us think that way.
Goodness. Well,
You see, you can place the ambition you once had in their hands. Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have your ambitions crushed. That's what happened on the day that you so effortlessly defeated me. So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, it is time for you to release yours into their custody. You are not in the same position that I was. When I left, I had nothing to my name. You have a great number of worthy disciples.
I understand. I'm
So now
sorry
you're
to
not
have made you
crazy?
worry for me and for the
What?
state of Meikyo Shisui art. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering inside of me will not abate, so I cannot hope to still my mind and be free of agitation.
Did bro just click a switch and go from like completely losing it to just chilling? What?
But as your sensei, I shall commit to imparting unto you everything I have learned in my life so far. This is my promise. And I humbly ask Anzai, my senior, to hold me to my word.
All this time they wasted, going to get somebody to give him an exorcism. Now they at Lady Yahe. I'm just saying, I'm just saying.
You can count on that. I'd be checking in on you occasionally anyway, just to make sure you hadn't lost your mind again. But I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong to the dojo anymore, so I will simply stop by once in a while to make sure you aren't cutting any corners with them. Well, don't just stand there staring at me. Say thank you to Lady Yai and then get yourself back home.
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over on his behalf. Guess that sort of solves this one, huh?
I guess so.
Traveler, a moment, please. Lady Yai has some words for you.
So, my intuition was correct. The wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment.
Okay.
I have high hopes for you, child. Don't disappoint me.
Ooh, Lady Yai seems to have taken a real interest in you. She seems super mysterious. I'm so curious what she really meant by all that.
Same.
We can come back to it another time. For now, we should go report back to Miss Kamisato.
I wonder if there's some kind of save point up here. Yeah, we need to get to it. Looks like it's somewhere over here, maybe. Let's investigate this area before we just dip. I still haven't quite figured out this puzzle just yet. Well, it looks like there's nothing that we can... Oh, wait a minute. Spoke too soon. Hey. I was about to say, because if we have to climb this again, man. Oh, wow, there were stairs. There were stairs this whole time. Oh, no, 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 no. Well, see if the lady behind the curtain will reveal herself this time.
Oh, Ayaka! Guess who fulfilled all your wishes? Ayaka!
Pretty sure we're not supposed to address her like that. Okay.
Traveler, Paimon. It is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face. I have heard all about how you helped our three friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Yeah. Short of getting them their visions back, seems like there's no way to really help them. Ayaka, how come this time you get to come out and meet us in person?
Because now that you have done the three things I asked of you, I consider you to be my friends. As you will observe, I dispense with the screen for Toma also.
Wait a second. But isn't Toma your, servant? Paimon's happy to help and all, but Paimon sure as heck did not sign up to be a servant.
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining. Toma is first and foremost my friend, and was so before he ever became my attendant.
Oh, okay then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different out in the open compared to how you are behind the screen. Alright.
Thank you both kindly. Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their visions. What are your feelings on what you have seen?
Honestly, I feel like if we just break the statue and get their visions back and then give it to them, like, what would happen? What would they do? I'm just saying.
Perhaps in the eyes of a deity such as the almighty Shogun, the lives of those who inhabit the world are inconsequential. Thunders roar, lightnings flash, the winds assault, and the rains descend. All these things take place with no regard for the feelings of the common people. But I believe that surely you understand what they must endure. It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my feelings on all of this. In which case, perhaps you would be willing to reconsider your stance?
Looks like we have no other option but to help you, so.
You will? Really? Naturally.
Alright, bravo, my lady. You were right all along.
See? I told you he wouldn't reject them. I'd placed my trust in the right person after all. Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion pertains to matters of a more confidential nature, perhaps we can move to the Komore Tea House? We ought not to involve other members of the Yashiro Commission.
Right, we're headed to the tea house.
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me. I'll keep watch.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway? What makes it your favorite meeting spot?
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build, and repair any property on this land, and even to allow or deny access. Such privileges exist due to the Yashiro Commission's role in managing ceremonial affairs. Oftentimes, it is not appropriate to discuss details in front of bystanders.
Oh, Paimon gets it. Gotta keep a bit of mystery, right?
Once the number of ceremonial affairs conducted in the city began to decline, our forebears built a tea house here. Only members of the Yashiro Commission are permitted to come and go as they please.
Makes sense. Perfect place for a secret base.
In any case, we can talk freely here. I presume you have a few questions that you wish to ask me? Of course. We have tried on numerous occasions. Unfortunately, each time a proposal to repeal the decree arrives at Tenshukaku, it is promptly vetoed by both the Tenryo Commission and the Kanjo Commission, and subsequently scrapped. They invariably adopt a stance of unconditional support for the Shogun's decisions. They have no interest in discussing anything. It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun's sudden decision to issue the Vision Hunt decree.
So basically they put her in a position of power.
The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, the Vision Hunt decree is something that has no implications whatsoever. After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions. Moreover, it is not unknown for visions to spark jealousy in others. Because of this, the attitude of most people towards the Vision Hunt decree is one of indifference.
How can they be like that? Paimon's getting mad.
Nevertheless, in addition to us, there is also the resistance on Watatsumi Island.
Resistance? You mean like an army fighting against the decree?
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sangonomiya on Watatsumi Island to form a resistance group. To say a little more about Sangonomiya, historically, there has always been some conflict between them and the shogunate of Narukami Island due to their different belief systems. But I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind their resistance movement, beyond merely fighting the Vision Hunt decree. The almighty Shogun. I've seen her on but only a few occasions, most of them formal ceremonies. She inspires awe, commands respect, and exudes a sense of absolute authority. But as I recall, there was something else about her that struck me even more deeply. It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more of, well, an executive official, I suppose. Focused exclusively on our single goal of implementing eternity. Acting accordingly without feeling.
Ooh, Paimon has a question though.
Oh? What would you like to know, Paimon?
Have you got a plan yet to fight the Vision Hunt decree?
To be
Yeah,
honest,
like,
we do not.
I was wondering about that because it's like she's against it, the Vision Hunt decree, but then she does nothing. Why is that? Is she not powerful enough to take on Raiden? But then again, she does have two other commission folks that are siding with her, so I guess she would need allies or something. So
What?
Please, do not forget that challenging the Vision Hunt decree is tantamount to challenging a deity. Coming to terms with that is already a difficult step to take.
So what are we gonna do?
Well, for the moment, all we can do is try and reduce the harm that is being caused by this decree. For example, by providing vision bearers with safe refuge, or manufacturing counterfeit visions for them as a contingency measure.
You're telling Paimon that there are people out there who can make fake visions?
what?
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamizaka. To the naked eye, their counterfeits are indistinguishable from the genuine article. The problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who was providing us with counterfeit visions, has recently been arrested by the Tenryou Commission.
Darn! So they found out about it?
Yes. We knew it was not a long-term solution, and that it was only a matter of time before it would be exposed. But we cannot simply abandon Master Masakatsu. Exactly. I feel the same way. But given mine and Toma's identities as part of the Yashiro Commission, breaking him out of prison would risk dragging down the reputation of the entire Kamisato clan should we be caught. That would only serve to cast suspicion on any future activity we might seek to attempt. By no means do we intend to place the burden of such a task on your shoulders alone. When you are ready, go to Hanamizaka and look for a fireworks shop run by the Naganohara family. There, you will find someone who can help you.
I'm just trying to figure out why they haven't fought Raiden or gotten like a group together to rebel against. Although there is a group of people who do have the visions that are rebelling, but why have they not, I guess, co-signed or grouped up with them?
Just hand it over. You don't want any trouble with me. If you think your elemental powers are enough to resist the Vision Hunt decree, then you'd better think again. Believe me, you're not the first of your kind we've encountered, and we've seen the same unpleasant outcome time after time. You'd best save yourself the trouble.
Can't you make an exception? I just got this vision. I won't even use it, I promise.
So this is the Vision Hunt decree in action, huh? We can't just sit around and watch things unfold, can we?
Guess not.
Hey, wait! Huh? There's someone trying to get our attention. Come on, this way. What's going on? Can't you see we need to go help? Shh, quiet. Just sit tight and watch for a moment. Hey, this isn't right, you know. Just because you don't have a vision doesn't mean you can sit back and watch others in trouble. Hey, wait! You do have a vision!
Thanks, Miss Yoimiya. If you hadn't swapped me a fake just now, I'm sure I would have lost it.
No worries. You put on quite the convincing performance.
Oh, so that's what's going on here. And to think Paimon was about to unleash Paimonial wrath on Miss Yoimiya. Sorry about that.
Paimon, I haven't. You know what? I really want to see Paimon do something. That's all I'm saying.
Think nothing of it. I could tell from your reaction you were on the same side. You just didn't know it, you know? Oh, right. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Yoimiya, current owner of Naganohara Fireworks. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Great to meet ya.
Yoimiya.
Practically everyone on Hanamisaka knows Yoimiya. She's the queen of the summer festival. Without her and her fireworks, summer on Narukami Island just wouldn't be the same.
Whoa, that's quite the introduction. Paimon loves fireworks. It's nice to meet you.
Stop it, Hanjiro. You'll embarrass me. As for thanking me, you'd be better off thanking Master Masakatsu. He's the one that gave me the fake visions in the first place. His handiwork allowed me to keep my own vision. Whew, I can't even imagine trying to run the business without it. Ugh.
Yes, Master Masakatsu is a good man. It's too bad good people seldom get the recognition they deserve.
Master Masakatsu?
Huh? Do you guys know him too? You don't say. And it sounds like the Shirasagi Himegimi has a plan. Awesome! I've been thinking about breaking him out too recently. But if I just march straight in there by myself, I'd probably get Miss Kamisato in a whole heap of trouble. So, what about if I join you instead?
Sure.
Welcome to the team. Ayaka told us to go look for help at a fireworks shop. She must have meant you.
Seems like I finally got a new job to do. Besides hiding vision bearers in my shop, that is. So, Master Masakatsu is being held at the police station. I've already surveyed the area and found a way in.
Alright, let's go.
Whoa, talk about a reliable source. Seems we've got the right person on our team.
Not bad, huh? Let's go as soon as everyone's ready. Don't worry, Master Masakatsu. We're on our way.
Time to break him out.
Right, let's go break him out of prison. You know, as much as we reveal on our map, we still don't see like any of the area. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Let me pull up the map. So normally when we hit positions on the map, more of that area becomes visible to us. I'll zoom out and show you. Like here, we could see like the island and the positions. But here, even when we unlock a location to be able to teleport to, nothing. It's very odd. Right, so it says here that our party level needs to be 47, so we will have to switch out Diluc. Unfortunately, back to Yanfei.
I charge a higher rate to meet outside the office.
And the rest of our characters, Chi-Chi is level 50. Noelle's level 40. So that's a bit concerning. I think that she'll be able to hold her own. We'll see. Let's go ahead and start. It says we need a fire element and an ice element, which we do have. So I think we'll be able to get through this one.
Now that we're inside, this place is a whole lot creepier than Paimon imagined.
Come on, this way. As long as we stay quiet, we've got a good chance. I certainly wouldn't want to end up locked away in here. Let's find Master Masakatsu and get out of here.
Yep.
We should split up. I've got a little present to prepare for Master Masakatsu. I'll be right back.
In the prison, but okay.
Sure. Alright then. Just be careful not to get caught.
Yes, you too.
Why do I feel like she's setting us up? Oh, we gotta fight the guards, okay.
Disappear! Windblade!
Talk about a big door. Seems we need to collect something shaped like Magatama in order to open it.
Leave it all to me.
Show me what you've got!
Inadmissible evidence!
Don't hold back!
Motion to compel!
I dare you! Show me what you've got!
Motion to compel! Sacred name, fortune preserver, rise.
I must withdraw. Don't hold back. I must withdraw. I dare you!
Incinerate! Life goes on. Steady as stone.
Windblade!
A word of hope.
Yep, but you were not worthy for me, friend.
Allow me to strike first.
I must leave no stone unturned.
I dare you! I need to train harder.
Yep, got defeated by a kid, friend. Let's see what's over here. – Nothing.
Who goes there?
Wheel of life.
This wall looks a bit odd. Maybe there's some special trick to it. These guys seem a lot tougher than usual. Paimon wonders if that armor over there has anything to do with the source of their strength.
Well, guess we're fighting the big bosses now.
Brace yourselves.
Motion to compel.
Watch your step.
Time for your arraignment. Incinerate. Steady as stone. Time to clean up.
Soldiers, quick!
Allow me. I strike first.
I dare!
You cannot match my bravery. Don't hold back. Get them.
Leave it all to me.
Watch your step. I dare you.
Motion to compel.
A word, opponent. Don't hold back. Get them with the wind. Allow me to strike first. Show me what you've got. I dare you. Wind blade. Show me what you've got.
Life goes on. Opening box of a dead Dietrix.
Don't hold back. I'll spare nothing.
Boom!
I need to
Steady
train
as stone.
harder. I've been bested.
Doesn't that Magatama shape look pretty similar to the grooves on the door over there?
I just want to investigate this area right here really quick. Never know what you'll find.
Brace yourselves. Take back.
Motion to compel.
Watch
I
your
must
step.
leave no stone unturned.
dare you!
As a good knight should. Inadmissible evidence! Boom! Chia!
I dare you! Allow me to strike first!
Leave it all to me. Go.
Disappear!
Watch your step! Don't hold back! I dare you!
Motion to compel.
Show me what you've got! Don't hold back!
Alright, you got him.
Motion to compel.
Should be the last one.
Life goes on.
Just like first! Bested.
Faster? Okay, faster. Go.
Wind blade! Wind blade!
Steady as stone. Life goes on.
I must withdraw.
Uh-oh. Big boss.
Quick, hide! Look over there. That must be Master Masakatsu.
Did you really think that little trick of yours could fool us?
Locking you up was just the beginning.
No!
Oh no! Those Tenryo Commission brutes are torturing him!
If we don't come up with a way to break him out fast, then... Hey, Mia! When did you get back here?
I can't bear to watch. If anything happens to Master Masakatsu, our whole plan will have been for nothing.
Hey, you there! What are you doing?
Ma'am.
We were just teaching him a little lesson, that's all.
Huh? Who's that?
That's Kujo Sara, adopted daughter of the Kujo clan of the Tenryo Commission. She's also a general in the Shogun's army. What's she doing here?
Make way. Let me have a look at him.
I'm sure you're well aware that torture is strictly against military regulations.
Yes, ma'am.
If you are unashamed of such disgraceful action, then you are also unworthy of the Tenryou Commission itself. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, ma'am. It won't happen again.
Oh, I'm unsure wouldn't want to get on her bad side.
Hey, this is our chance. Let's move while they aren't watching Master Masakatsu.
Yoimiya, are you sure now's the right time?
Who is that? Quick, go and investigate.
Yes, ma'am.
They're coming! Quick, hide!
Sorry. I didn't mean to. Don't worry, I've got us covered. Time for my little present.
Fireworks!
Huh? Is that an explosion?
It sounded like fireworks.
Quick, let's hurry!
They're easily distracted.
The fireworks were enough to distract them. Maybe more than enough.
Fireworks aren't just for festivals, you know. I was particularly proud of this batch. I decided to...
Wow.
Yoimiya, this is turning into a bit of a fireworks display.
Well, fireworks are my craft after all. Every batch has to be spectacular.
How many more booms are we gonna see?
Look, the coast is clear. Now's our chance.
This chick. Alright. Where are we going again?
Faster? Okay, faster.
Oh, I went the wrong way. Wait a minute. Say move. Bit of a puzzle situation there. Okay.
Faster? Okay, faster.
Yoimiya, is that you?
Master Masakatsu! Sorry we took so long. Oh, those awful guards.
Come on! We've got no time to lose! They could be back any minute! Oh.
Yes. Leave. Before I let my judgment get the better of me. He's in serious condition. Be sure he gets immediate medical attention.
Oh, she helping
Remember,
us.
once he's recovered, it won't be long until I bring him right back.
Well... You can bet we'll do all we can to keep that from happening.
Leave this place.
Why does she help? Oh, snap. Not sure why she helped us out, but she's on our side.
How do you feel? Can you hold on?
Don't worry. I think I can make it to the infirmary without keeling over.
Thank you. All of you. I'll take him to get treated. I'll treat you to a round of drinks once this is all over.
Hey.
Don't worry about us. Just take
Hot
care
chocolate.
of Master Masakatsu. Good thing we were able to rescue him. Right, Kujusara. Do you think she was making up for how the guards were treating him? It seems as though there are some okay people among the ranks of the Tenryou Commission. Though Paimon would never agree with their actions in the Vision Hunt decree, of course. How about we go tell Ayaka and the others the good news?
Well, you guys, I am going to stop it off here. Next time we will be letting Ayaka know the great news that has happened. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream today. Got to check out the Diluc. I'll be definitely working on his build maybe sometime this weekend. Get him a little bit stronger. I will be on later today on YouTube, of course, working on my Apex grind. But thanks for stopping by. You'll be able to check the YouTube link in my link tree. Till next time, you know who it is. Click like pow. We're getting better now. Figuring out a few things on this island. We'll see what happens next time. Have a great day, you guys.